Hello everyone, I'm Fan of Thomas31, and I have returned to take part in Ty's Guest Host Week event this year. For my video, I'll be reviewing this Disney Store Cars 2 London playset. If you're a hardcore viewer of Ty's channel, you might remember that he did reviews on a couple of similar sets, those being the Tokyo playset and the Porto Corsa playset. Ty managed to find these by pure chance at a flea market, but he was unable to get the third set advertised on the back of their boxes, being the London playset. Well, it just so happens that I was able to get the London playset back when it was still being sold in Disney stores. So I figured this was as good of an opportunity as any to make my own review on it. The London playset contains 7 pieces similar to the format of the other sets. 2 of these pieces are cars, which are Finn McMissile and Acer. Acer was probably the main reason I picked up this set. Back then, I remember wanting to expand my lemon collection, and to this day, this Acer is the only lemon that I own. Because of this, I can't compare him to his regular Mattel diecast, but if I had to make an assumption, I think he's bigger. Especially considering that he's a bit big when put right next to the Finn McMissile in this set. Now, you might remember when Ty reviewed his sets, he had a very serious problem where the car's stickers were peeling off. Well, I'm glad to say that Acer uses minimal stickers with all of his other details printed on. The only stickers he does have are his grille and eyes, which have begun to degrade over time. Now here's Finn McMissile. I will say that this toy definitely does look the part, although it feels a bit small in my hands. Though that's probably just because I just finished looking at the giant Acer. He actually scales pretty well with his Mattel diecast, although he is still a bit smaller, and he actually scales closer to this random cake topper I have. Alongside the cars, you get these 2 launcher keys that are labeled for each car. Both cars have a spring-loaded mechanism in their backs that you insert the key into. Then you just squeeze the key and watch them go. Whoops. Now, despite the fact that the keys are labeled by character, there's nothing really different about them, and they can work interchangeably. I think it's worth mentioning that the quality of these labels isn't that great, and the promos printed on them look rather blurry. Acer himself looks like he'll jump out at me if I put on some 3D glasses. Alongside the key launchers, the set also comes with this bigger launcher that makes lights and sounds, and may very well have been the main selling point of this pack. As this is a London-themed pack, the launcher is modeled after a building you'd see in London. Which building? I'm not quite sure, though it vaguely looks like something from the Queen's Palace in the Cars 2 movie. Now, not only does this launcher make lights and sounds, but it also has a sensory system that makes its sounds character specific. You see, each character in this toy line has a series of tabs on their backs. These tabs push a series of buttons inside the launcher, so when you load a character into it, they say a phrase that's usually from the movie.
Thanks, old boy.
This 3-button sensory system is rather basic, and because of this, it only has room for 7 different character phrases. Fortunately, this toy line only got 6 characters, so you wouldn't really be able to tell. Now of course, the tabs on the cars are different from one another, so they push the buttons on the launcher in a different sequence. Acer pushes all 3 buttons at the same time to get his voice line,
He's getting away.
while Finn pushes the 2 leftmost buttons.
Thanks, old boy.
As for the other sequences, the 2 rightmost buttons activate Grimm's line,
Get to the boats.
the leftmost button activates Francesco's,
Lightning McQueen is the luckiest car in the world.
the rightmost button activates Mater's,
Deactivate, deactivate.
and the middle button activates McQueen's.
Yes, Mater, you are the bomb.
Now that's 6 different sequences for the 6 characters they made for this toy line, but as I said earlier, there is room for a 7th character. So what if I told you that the launcher did come programmed with a 7th character line, and pushing the left and rightmost buttons gets that character? This character being none other than Holly Shiftwell.
We'll rendezvous then.
Having Holly Shiftwell lines makes a lot of sense when given the context of the Cars 2 movie. Though it is still rather bizarre that they did give her voice lines at all when they didn't make a toy of her for this line. Though what's even more bizarre is that this launcher even still works after all these years and no battery replacements. Anyway, the set also comes with this ramp piece that's very similar to the one from the Tokyo set. And finally, you get this big Bentley clock tower. For a rather basic Disney Store product, I gotta say this clock tower is actually rather detailed, although it is hollowed out on one side. This is to coincide with one of the set's play features. What you do is you mount the ramp piece on the back of the clock tower just like this. Then you load one of the cars into a launcher.
Thanks, old boy.
And then you send them flying through the clock tower. Indeed, it doesn't get much better than that. And so that was the Disney Store Cars 2 London playset. A rather simple set, but with some really neat play features. If only those features weren't so finicky. For instance, the clock tower only works if you aim the car just right. Otherwise, they'll just crash and burn. Then there's the sound system on the launcher. Because the sensory system is rather basic, it's prone to tripping up, and sometimes you'll get a character line that corresponds to the wrong car.
Get to the boats. Yes, Mater, you are the bomb.
Now, I will admit, aside from the car sticker decals, the quality of this toy isn't that bad, especially considering it's a Disney Store product. But because this is a Disney Store product, you can bet that it fetched a high retail price. From what I could find, this London set, along with the other launcher sets that were sold alongside it, retailed for $20. That's not too bad considering all the things you get, but because of the cheap build quality, I still think the price could have been a bit better. So just think about that if you ever consider getting this set for yourself and find the triple-digit listings online. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this product review. I want to thank Ty for giving me the opportunity to return for guest host week, and I hope that everyone else involved does well with their videos. Thanks for stopping by to check out my video. I've been Fan of Thomas 31, and I hope to see you again soon.